Siginu, dismissed due to compliance. Item number 6, case number CEZPU 2014-00001, Emmanuel Michel, dismissed due to compliance. Item number 8, case number CEBNP 2013-00130, Frederick and Karina Matthews, dismissed due to compliance. On page number 2, item number 10, case number CEJNK 2013-00108, Investment Padre PO LLC, dismissed due to compliance. Item number 11, CEJNK 2014-00003, Isaac Garcia, dismissed due to compliance. Item number 14, case number CEBNP 2013-00033, John F. Jelke, postponed to the May calendar. Item 15, CEIVY 2014-00043, Jovo Skundrick, postponed to May calendar. Item 16, CEJNK 2014-00012, Jovo Skundrick, postponed to May calendar. Item 17, CELSC 2014-00002, Jovo Skundrick, postponed to May calendar. Item number 18, CEMHO 2014-00017, Jovo Skundrick, postponed to May calendar. Item 19, CEMIS 2014-00004, Jovo Skundrick, postponed to May calendar. Item number 20, CEMHA 2014-0001, Marsha Lee, dismissed due to compliance. Item 21, CEIVY 2014-00033, Mir M. Ron, dismissed due to compliance. Item 22, CEBLR 2014-00013, Monica Stone, dismissed due to compliance. Item 24, CEIVY 2014-00052, Nawal Doach, dismissed due to compliance. Item 26, CEODS 2013-00101, Nixa Serrano, dismissed due to compliance. Item 27, CEIVY 2014-00028, Oscar Hernandez, dismissed due to compliance. Item 29, CEMHS 2014-0003, Ray E. Miller, dismissed due to compliance. Item 30, CEODS 2014-00020, Realty Services LLC, dismissed due to compliance. Item 32, CEMHA 2013-00006, Richard A. Bessela, dismissed due to compliance. Item 34, CEZPU 2014-00006, Sandra Romero Gutierrez, dismissed due to compliance. Item 35, CEEXP 2013-00205, Suavier Camus and wife Saris, dismissed due to compliance. And item 39, CEZPU 2014-00005, Tulio C. Uribe, dismissed due to compliance. And that are all the amendments to the calendar.
All right, we're ready to call the first case.
First case is item number 4. Case number CENUS 2014-00011, Clement Alexander, 12140 Northeast Miami Place. The officer is Jean Dumont, and I will be presenting this case for Dumont, Mr. Dumont.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you state your full name for the record, please?
Clement Alexander. This is my wife, Jeanette Alexander.
Okay.
And the property is 12140 Northeast Miami Place. North Miami.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We will allow the city to go first, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond.
Okay. Ivy Kirsten, City of North Miami Code Compliance Unit of the North Miami Police Department. This is a new case. This case was first brought to our attention as a complaint for a nuisance for a noise disturbance. Officer Dumond first went out to this property on March the 4th. He did not observe any complaints and any noise disturbance himself, but the complainant made several reports to our police department, and I have several incident reports from the actually 2 incident reports from the North Miami Police Department, also indicating that they did not observe any loud noise, but the complainant, who I believe is here today.
Yes, sir.
And he wanted to state his case, and I would just like to submit the file for the record.
Thank you. Okay. Want to call your first witness?
Sorry, can you state your name, sir?
My name is David Gott. I live at 12145 Northeast Miami Court. I live directly behind these people. I filed 2 complaint affidavits, one on 225, and the officers arrived at 10 a.m. Because of the boom boxes. They both told me that they heard the noise in the house. They left and went over to talk to these people, but the noise continued on for hours and hours later. And then, now I'm just talking about the specific period where you have the complaints, you have the 2 citations that were issued. And then on Friday at 10 o'clock at night, he was out there again for a half hour, not long enough for me to call the police, but they was there. Saturday morning again on at 8:20, he was out there again in the morning for a few minutes, blowing that boombox away. And then the big one, which was on Sunday, March 2nd, started at 9:38 in the morning. I had to leave because I go to the cemetery on Sunday morning. I came back, still blowing away. I called the police. They came out there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They came in my house. There was 2 officers, Officer Pittman and another girl who was a new officer, and she said as soon as she came in the house, she heard the noise. So I asked them to file the reports, both officers, both times, and that's what they did. They went over to their house, talked to them, and left. The problem was that the music never stopped, never was turned down until 10 o'clock at night. So that for another 8 hours, this continued on. Now, this has occurred before this time. The previous year, there was citation. There was a thing issued back in January. I have a list here of the things from the police department. I don't know if you have that. Do you have this information? Can I show you? There's a history. This started here. There's a history here. Loud music back in 13. Settled on the scene, and then there's another couple here. Back on the 6th and the 7th. Loud music there. So this is a history of what goes on at this place. It goes continuously.
All right, sir, I need you to step back to the podium and repeat what you just said. Otherwise, it will not be recorded.
Okay, I just gave him. Did you get there? I just gave you a list, and there's a history on there of loud music from this house back in January and in March, and it continues on. It never ends. My question, can I ask this gentleman a question? Or are we at that point?
No,
Okay.
you're not, you can't ask them questions
Okay,
yet.
so this problem has been going on incessantly for over a year. And it's going on and off, and it doesn't stop. And what interests me the most is complete disrespect and just for the police officers and the code people that come to the house, because they talk to this guy, and he continues and does it again. So what does that leave me as a homeowner? The boom box going on and on and on, okay? That's my whole crust of this thing here, because there's two complaint affidavits that I filed. There was one back in July. If you haven't seen this one, there's one here. I'll show you this one. Back in July of the previous year, and it never ends. And that's where it's at. And I want this to end. It's not fair. I mean, it keeps going on and on and on. Anytime this guy's around, he was turning the boom box on and off and on and off all the time, at any time of the day or the night.
How do you know it's a boom box?
Because it goes boom, boom, boom. That's a boom box. When it shakes my house and I can't hear the TV and it disrupts everything, that's a boom box. Boom, 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 ba boom, ba boom. That's a boom box. Very simple.
All right, I'm reviewing the incident report that you produced, and that's all it is incident report. You said they were cited. I don't see anything that says a citation.
They were given
In
2
fact-
citations.
And we're talking back in 2013?
No, this year. They were given a citation for 225, and they were given a citation for 3-2, one for $100 and one for $150. It was actually the third time that they've been talked to. Sergeant Blanchard was the first one out there back in July last year.
I'm sorry?
You're saying it was a civil, were you issued a civil citation?
Never.
Never?
Never.
I don't see anything on what he has provided to me either, so
Because I talked to Sergeant Blanchard, and he told him they issued 2 citations, one for $100 and one for $150 for 3-2, for 225, and for March 2nd.
From all the reports that I have reviewed so far, it's it's been found it's unfounded. The officers who appeared on the scene said they did not hear any loud music. I mean, they're entitled to play the music because they can enjoy their property as well. The issue is that is it causing a nuisance, and you have to meet the threshold of what a nuisance is.
The new threshold, excuse me, is if it heard at the property line. That's the new threshold. That's been your new, according to your laws that just came out. And I hear it in my house, so it's loud enough. And then their neighbors hear it, and they don't do anything about it because they don't care. They're not going to do nothing. But I'm really surprised that these were not filed, because I was there in his office when he said, Sergeant Blanchard, when he sent Gene, who was the last week he was working as a code enforcement, said that to bring those citations to these people. So I'm really upset about this, because I'm going to have to talk to Sergeant Blanchard and find out what happened here, because this is not right.
Okay.
Completely
Based
not
on
right.
the information that's provided to me, on the 25th of February of this year, police were called, and the police stated that they did not hear loud music.
Now let me ask
On
you
the
something.
27th, code enforcement was called, and they said that complaint was unfounded, a ticket was not issued. Also on March 3rd, police were called, and complaint was unfounded. These are, I'm just going by the documents that I have
That
before
amazes
me.
me, because talking to Sergeant Blanchard, he told me that they were submitted, and I don't know why they haven't been. And I don't know, he went on vacation for a week and a half, and I didn't get to see him again. And that's what my whole case is on. But this is an ongoing situation, Your Honor, and it doesn't stop. If I didn't do it when I was doing it, this guy would keep going and going and going. They start early Sunday morning, and it goes all day long. That's
Okay.
not right. That's just not
All right.
right.
I'll give Mr. and Mrs. Alexander an opportunity to make a statement or question
And before you finish,
question the witness if you wish. Give me 1 second. Yes, sir.
the biggest problem I have here is the total disrespect for the code people and the police officers that come over there, because they keep doing it over and over again.
Okay, the only issue that I have here, I don't have any of that before me. The only thing that I have right now is your statement. And the officers and the code, the police and the code officers who have responded to your calls have basically determined that the complaints were unfounded. So now it comes to a credibility issue. I need to hear what you have to say, and now I need to.
One more question.
Sure, sir.
they were supposed, Sergeant Blanchard, when I went in his office, they were supposed to talk to the two officers, and they were supposed to amend the reports to state this. And so those complaints are, that they, when they write it out on the computer and put it on there, they haven't been amended? You don't see anything that's been amended?
Okay, I don't know, I'm not sure what this process you're talking about.
The paper
I don't know
gave you?
how the police officers will amend their statements if when they showed up on the scene, they didn't find any violation. So I don't know how they're gonna go back and amend their statement or their report.
Well, let me just explain what transpired. Most of the police officers are not trained in noise violation. That's what I was understood from Sergeant Blanchard. So at one of his meetings, he told me in the morning when he has a 15-minute meeting with all his officers, he explained to them that when they go into a house, the state of Florida law says if there's a noise in your house, the police officer has to say, yeah, I hear the noise, and that's it. He doesn't have to make any opinions or anything else, and that breaks the code, and that's it. That's where it goes. That's the new thing that's out there, and it's been out there. And that's what the problem I had with these two officers when they wrote their statements, that they didn't put that down because they made an opinion. They didn't state what was actually happening. And when I have an officer come into my house and I ask them specifically 3 times, did you hear the noise? They say it. I'm under oath here, remember. And I'm 67 years old. I have no reason to tell any stories here. When they tell me that they hear it, that's all I go by. Now, and this is I know sometimes that you have a case here and you don't see something black and white in front of you, but sometimes the testimony is just as good. And I've been in this house since my parents bought this house in 1954, original owners, and we're the only ones there, and have never had this problem with anybody ever in this neighborhood. Nobody does what this guy does. Comes out 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night making all kinds of noises. Nobody does that in that neighborhood. I walk this neighborhood in the morning, there's the sound in the place. So he can tell you whatever story he wants to tell you, but it's not true. So anyway, I rest my case as far as a witness. That's all
And
I
I'm
can tell
going
you.
to disregard that last statement. Everyone is entitled to present their case, and I will weigh it accordingly. Who's speaking, Mr. or Mrs. Alexander?
Mrs. Alexander. May I
Okay.
start off by saying that we respect the law and everything that it stands for. At all times, the police officers came to our house. We have always listened to them. They've observed the violation. They've observed us playing music, and there was never a violation. They came in, music was playing. It was never loud enough to ask us to turn it off. They say turn it down, we turn it down. Now, the incident that Mr. Gott is referring to on March 2nd, this was my husband's birthday, and I believe we are entitled to listen to a little music, and he can prove that it was his birthday. We started off, yes, in the morning. We were outside barbecuing, and he called the cops. And this is something that, since we moved into the house in 2009, this is something that's happened ever since there's an incident. In January, this was my daughter's birthday. We were having a party. He called the cops. We've had cops at our house more times than I can remember. And it's come to a point that whenever we're outside playing music, we've come to expect it because we know that he will call the cops. And we've never played obscenely loud music. Yes, we play music, but not obscenely loud to the point where it's a nuisance or that it's past 11 p.m. because we do observe the times that the music are being played. It's never before 7 a.m. and never after 11 p.m.
Okay.
We had cops come to our house a number of times, and they have never tell us we're doing anything wrong. We even had the code enforcement officers, Mr. Wilcox. He came to my house once, and Mr. Duma came, and he observed what our activities, and it was never loud. Mr. David lives to the back of our house, and his house is the furthest from our house compared to our two side neighbors. And I brought a witness. He's the closest to our house, to the area that we have our little get together. And he's a student at Barry University, he studies all the time, and he could say that we're not bothering the community. We also have like a...
We have signed.
we had the neighbors sign and let you know if we're actually a bother to the community, and they all said that we're not.
Because they're at work.
We have their signatures, their house numbers. Also, I brought with me the incident report on my birthday that Officer Pittman, we have the incident report right here. And not to mention that one of Mr. David's neighbors, he has music and get-togethers and theme parties all the time till past 11 o'clock, and he never calls the cops on them or complains. What we do, we have evidence of that, and no police, nothing, or Mr. David ever complains. So.
What he refers to as a boombox is not a boombox. It's a small jacuzzi that we purchased with music in it. It's not a boombox.
You have one in your house, and you were told one time by the code people to keep it off the backyard.
How would you know that?
Because I took a picture of it and I gave it to him.
I'm sure you're...
That's why.
If given a chance, we would like to describe what we've been going through. We've been going through for the 5 years since we've been living in our house. If given a chance, we'd like to explain everything that we're going through with Mr. David. We did write a letter to the manager of the code enforcement, and it's on file. I think
That was back in July.
that was back in July. It's yeah.
Blanchard, Sergeant Blanchard.
No. What I would, if you need to, do you guys have any questions for Mr. Gott, or do you want me to hear from your neighbor? But I don't really want to hear.
Mr. Gott, what I would like to know is our music, and I understand, obviously you feel bothered by our music. If you can hear our music so clearly, how can you not hear the Karen right next to you when she plays her music?
Because they don't play the boom, 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 and that doesn't rattle my dishes in the house. Okay?
We have recordings of her music, and we can hear it very
don't care
clearly
what-
in our house,
I
and
don't
even
care.
when we close the door.
And-
When
and-
we play our music, I'm in my house, and I close the door,
No.
and I don't hear it.
Let's back up here. You opened the door for that now. Let's open it. The original code guy came out there a long time ago when this gentleman put a boom box out in his backyard. I took a picture of it and called the code people there, and he came and told them to put it back in your garage. Am I right?
No, you're wrong.
Then you're lying. Okay? So I have the picture of it at home. I should have brought it. And he told them to keep it in have an enclosed garage with all the windows are closed and it makes a lot of noise. So he
I'm
told
sorry,
them to
but
put-
this is not what we're here for. This is not what we're here for.
Yeah, you opened the door for this, and I'm trying to explain myself.
All right, we're
okay?
going to keep it short. We're trying to
is-
deal with the current situation that's in front of us.
And
And
first of all, can I just one more thing?
sure, sir.
They have a two-story house. I have a single-story house. The way their house is designed, the sound bounces right off there and comes right in my windows. The two houses on the sides are farther away than I am. I'm the closest to their house. They have a big floor room with glass windows in it, and it's not more than maybe 70 feet, 50 feet away from them. The other houses are farther away. I just want to explain. This has been going on for a long time. What about me? I'm the guy that has to put up with the noise. I don't really. They have problems. I'm glad you had problems. I'm glad it bothered you. Because what about me? It bothered the hell out of me. What am I supposed to do?
All right.
Huh?
Okay. We're gonna stop this. All right. Do you want me to hear from your witness, sir? Ma'am, do you want me to hear from your witness?
Yes, yes, sure.
All right, sir. Can you state your name for the record
Yeah, my name is Marcus Reynolds,
and your address?
12130 Northeast Miami Place. It's just to the south of Mr. Alexander's home.
Okay. And what is it that you want me to know?
I met Mr. Alexander in 2009. Started playing music from there. That's fine, but the fact is that I am maybe 20 steps away from the area where they play music, and I can attest to the fact that they do abide by the laws. They do not. They're not out there to play music to.
They're not
disturb.
blasting their boombox?
They're not. My if things were if Mr. David's house was shaking, mine would as well, because I am so close. But it does not. My dishes do not rattle. Also, on the neighbor just to the south of Mr. David. Yes, Karen. I play football on the weekend, so I'm gone from 8 to about 11. I'll get back to about 11:30 at night, This is on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and it's pitch black in their backyard. They're not there. But Karen, football Sundays, the entire NFL season, they were out there. I think the TV may even be out on the back porch, and you can hear that clearly.
Okay, so you're thinking that there could be a confusion as to where the loud music?
No, I'm not
or
saying
the
that.
sound-
I'm just simply saying that I do. He mentioned that, past 11 p.m., and that's just not the case.
Okay, I've heard enough. I've heard enough. Based on the evidence presented, I find I will dismiss the case. You may leave. Thank you.
I want to say one more thing. If you keep it up, I'll keep calling the police. Every time you do it. You're off the hook yet.
Here's the file.
Okay, next case is item number 9, case number CELDR 2014-00002, Gerald M. Uribe, 12490 Croton Road. Code officer is Alan Graham.
I'm sorry, which item are we?
Number 9.
Thank you.
Good evening, Your Honor. Alan Graham, City of
Good
North
evening.
Miami Code Enforcement. I have been sworn.
Thank you, sir.
This case is coming back. It was tabled from the March 6th hearing calendar when the Uribes came and to the hearing. This case is about a failure to obtain an approved painting permit from the city's building department. I did a printout of the record today for the building department to see if there is a painting permit on file with the building department, and as of 5:17 p.m. today, there is no such permit on a file. I do have the permit printout in the file with that date and time stamped on it. So we're here today to get a report from the Uribes on what they're doing to obtain the paint permit. And this is a new case. It would be an initial adjudication today.
Okay. I tabled this case,
Yes, you
right?
did.
We had a hearing on this
We
last
already
time.
had a hearing, and the
okay.
Uribes were trying to work with the building department to
Correct.
get their paint color approved,
Right.
so that they could get the permit.
Okay. Ma'am, sir? Did you guys state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Gerald
again.
Uribe.
Okay.
My address is 12490 Croton Road in North Miami.
All right.
And my name is Caitlin. I'm the wife of Gerald, and I live at the same residence.
Okay. I kind of remember this matter. What's going on? Why are we back here and no permit has been pulled?
Well, Your Honor, as a matter of fact, we have been in communication with the Community and Development Office, the ones that are supposed to approve our color, and we have been in several meetings with them. It's not that we have not tried to do anything about it. As a matter of fact, we have taken off from work and from our regular schedule just to attend to these meetings. And until now, they just don't want to approve the color for a home. And the reason why is because they're saying that our color doesn't fit in the palette, which I have right over here, the copy of it. And
We have pictures of our home that I just took today, actually a few hours before coming here. And it shows that our color does actually meet the color on the palette. And it's just one person, Miss Lorraine Tappan, that's in charge of making the decision to whether or not to grant the permit to us. So it's not like a board of people or a committee, it's just one person. And I'd like to present this as evidence to show you. Oops. Okay. I have here the photos of our home and the sample permitted colors for North Miami. As you can see, it matches the warm orange colors right here. Within the photos I took, I even held the color chart up to my house against the backdrop of the paint color to show you the similarities between the colors on the paint chart and the color of our home.
I can see.
Right after Mr. Graham gave us the first citation, I believe it was in January, pretty much the next business day, we went to Community Planning and Development and to try and resolve this issue. So it's not that we haven't been trying. We've actually been trying since the day after we got the citation to apply for an after-the-fact permit. And we were just told a lot of back and forth things to go to Home Depot, get different samples, and we just have been using a lot of our time, taking off from work
Pass it to Mr. Graham
to
so
try
he
and
can take a
resolve
look.
this issue and to leave it in the hands of one person, Miss Lorraine Tappan, who is, I believe, new to community and planning development as well, because when we met her, she was just a temp. It's just a lot of aggravation and stress, and we're just, we painted our house because we love the color, and we're trying to improve the appearance of our house.
Now,
Thank
the
you.
other thing is, if by any chance there is no communication between your groups, organizations like community and development, code enforcement, or building and zoning, that's not really for us to decide. Your offices should be able to communicate freely because they're right next to each other. So we have been trying in our part to do everything that it has to be done.
Mr. Graham.
Your Honor, the city's going to object to this being a venue for making a decision on the color of the house and whether it's an approved color on the palette. The decision is solely at the discretion of the city's building and zoning department. They are the ones to decide if a paint color on a house, a base color or a trim is on the approved color palette for the city, and they're the ones who then approve the permit. So this is not a venue for a decision to be made on is the color correct or is the color not correct. It's do you have a permit, an after-the-fact permit for the painting of the house, which was done before the paint color was approved. And that is the city's position today is they do not have the permit. This is a new case. The city would be seeking an initial adjudication and a reasonable period of time for this to be resolved with the city's planning or zoning or building department. And they have to resolve that with that department, not with the code department, or not with the not at a special magistrate hearing.
And the city attorney's office will add that this is actually the whole nature, the reason for the violation. That the actual citation was for first painting the house without prior coming to the city and obtaining a permit, which would include the color paint scheme approval. So unfortunately, the city attorney does agree with the position of the code officer that the testimony as in regard to the color palette is not really relevant to what's before us today.
Yeah, but just to add into that, sorry to
No, go ahead.
we have been taking matter on the subject. It's not that we haven't done anything about it. Now, whether or not the color needs to be approved, it's not up to us. It's basically up to the city, and we understand that. But we are showing enough proof that the color should be approved. And for that case, we do understand that we need to apply for a permit, and that's what we did. We applied for an after-the-fact permit. That was right after the citation was given to us. It was actually a recommendation from Mr. Graham that we need to apply for that, and that's what we did.
And it falls in the hands of just one person, Miss Lorraine Tappan, who, as I said, when we first met her, I believe it was the end of January, early February, she was just a temp. So she is pretty new to the position that she has in community planning and development. So I do not believe that she, as one person, should be able to decide what color our house should be when it clearly falls within range of the permitted colors on the sample chart that she gave us when we met with her. multiple times, and on the last time we met with her, I asked for this and she gave it to me. And that's why I held up the photo of my house. I held up the chart right next to the paint color of our house, showing that it does match. So to have one person be the decision maker of that is not fair. And also in the sample printed colors, there's no greens on here. There's no color green whatsoever. So, you know, a lot of houses in North Miami are painted green, and a lot are painted colors outside of the color chart. I've even taken photos of houses in Keystone Point, as well as houses around City Hall in North Miami with colors outside of the color chart. And I'm wondering why, you know, we're being targeted. And we've been trying to resolve this for months now.
All right. I hear the testimony that's being presented to me, and I can see the frustration because of what you've been dealing with the city. And as you said, with having one person make the determination as to whether or not the color meets the city's criteria or not. However, I do have to rule based on the citation, and what brought us before this council is basically the fact that you did paint without permit, and the whole idea of getting a permit prior to painting so that you don't deal with the same issue here, based on just looking at the photographs that you have presented. In my opinion, it matches. But in the person who's making that determination on behalf of the city finds in her wisdom that it doesn't. Unfortunately, I cannot make a ruling against that. That's not before me, and I think that if you have a grievance or a complaint against the way things are being run, there's a different process, a different procedure to do that. I can only rule based on what's before me, and based on the evidence presented, I find in favor of the city. I do find that the violation still exists. Basically, what I will do is give you until May 6th. It will be the abatement date. When we come back here on May 7th, hopefully you guys would have already resolved this issue. Unfortunately, one way or another, if she does not agree that it does in fact match, I'm assuming that you guys are going to have to, do this whole expense again and repaint the house. I don't know. Hopefully you don't have to do that, but it's not fair. But again, it goes back to, what brought us here. It should have been done prior to you, selecting the paint and go ahead and paint the house. So I will have to issue. I'm sorry.
Could we please add just a few more words?
Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Mr. Graham mentioned that the citation notice was about not obtaining a permit prior painting. Correct. And I have the notice here, and it clearly states, violation of land development regulations, failure to comply with applicable land development regulations, and then says the description of the violation and the steps that you must take to resolve the violation are herein provided. 7006. House has been painted without first obtaining a painting permit. Apply for and obtain an after-effect painting permit from the city's building department. And that's what we have been trying to do since then. We have never tried to do something different. This is just the entire process. It's nothing that we are trying to go around it. We have been started this since the beginning, and I just don't see why they don't approve it. It makes no sense to me.
And it's just one person too, and the reason why we didn't get the permit in the first place before we painted our house is because honestly we didn't know we needed a permit, so we paid the penalty for that. And we've been trying to get this after the fact permit since the day after we've gotten the citation.
We already paid for the violation.
And I would also like to read the fine print on the sample of permitted colors. Right here it says, all exterior building wall colors used within the Northeast 6th Avenue corridor shall be within the allowable range as shown above. We don't live on Northeast 6th Avenue corridor. We live in Keystone Point, so this shouldn't even apply anyway. Secondly, it shows the colors shown are representative sample of the range of accepted colors. This is very subjective. You know, there's a range of colors. It could be a shade darker, a shade lighter, a shade brighter, a shade lighter. And it also says countless variations exist within these ranges. So how are we at fault? Why are we spending our time, our money, trying to resolve this with one person who doesn't want to admit she's wrong because I think, she just got this job not too long ago. And this is not going to be resolved, Ms. Beatrice, without you being in favor of us, which I think, like you said, would be fair, because this is not fair right here.
Not that part, not that aspect of your case. As it refers to the determination of the individual who has to make a decision on behalf of the city as to whether or not the color fits the color palette of the city, I cannot make a determination on that. It's something that if you have a grievance against her, I would say call the city and find out how you can go about filing a formal complaint and, possibly have it heard by, I don't know if it's the whole council, or I'm not really sure how this
Please tell us
goes.
how it works. 'Cause
But as
we're
far
gonna go
as
into
this
that.
issue here, again, it's the failure of obtaining a painting permit. That's really what the case is. But what he went on and telling you is giving you the process of going and obtaining an after the fact permit, because you have already painted the house without a permit. That's a violation. What he's basically indicated to you is that from this point, what you need to do is trying to obtain an after the fact permit. And this is where you ran into issues with the individual that you're dealing with, there. But the underlying violation is just that, painting without a permit. And I have to find, based on that, in favor of the city. The last time you were here, I tabled this case because I really wanted to give you guys an opportunity to resolve it, without coming back here. And I understand you've ran into a whole issues with that individual, but we're back here, and I still don't have a after the fact permit. I still
She won't give
have
it to
painting
us.
without permit, so I have to address this case. And what basically I've done is you have an entire month at this point to do what you need to do, get it done. And the next time you hear, if you tell me that you need additional time to whether paint the house or whatever that needs to be done, I'll consider postponing it. But I have to I'm sorry. I have to assess a daily fine amount. I'll keep it low at $25 per day, and that only kicks in at a future date. So
When will that future date be, hypothetically speaking?
May 6th.
So after May 6th.
Yes, you'll be back here on May 7th, and we'll address it at that point. You can give me a status report as to where you are with the city, but hopefully, it can be resolved before then.
Okay. But it's just in one person's hands. A person who went from being a temp when we first met her a few months ago. Anyway, so I guess we'll file a complaint against her and see where things go, since we're not getting anywhere with this.
Understood. Good luck to you
Thank
guys.
you.
Your Honor, through you to the Uribes, if they're having somebody telling them the paint color is not acceptable and they won't issue the permit, well, that individual has a supervisor, and they need to make an appointment with that person's supervisor and discuss that further. If they're not getting satisfactory, response from that supervisor, there's a director for the department. If the manager is not, they don't like what they're hearing from the manager, they can appeal the manager's decision to the city manager. So they're, as
That's
they
the
say,
different steps.
you're moving
that
up the food chain
Correct.
until you reach somebody ultimately who has to make a decision, which is ultimately the city manager. And hopefully, if you meet with a supervisor, then the manager of the department, and then ultimately the city manager, in the next 3-4 weeks, you will get this resolved, because Once it gets to manager's level, he's going to be asking some serious questions about why the people in that department are not providing you with the correct. What you're looking for.
Right.
Or the assistance you're looking for.
Yeah, it's just, as you can see, it's taken a lot of our
But
time.
that-
We're here for the second time. You know,
And the whole idea of the code, and I know it's hard for people to understand that, is really not to punish, the homeowners, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't have a city without the residents. So, it's supposed to be easier, supposed to work a little easier. And I agree with Mr. Graham. Take the necessary steps that you need to take, and, until you get a firm response. Because if they're giving people a range of colors, in my
Yeah.
opinion, based on your photograph, I think that you're pretty close, if not damn
Right.
What it
exact.
says exactly is countless variations.
Yeah.
Right.
And it only applies to Northeast 6th Avenue corridor, which leaves
Understood.
all the other streets and avenues exempt from the,
Understood.
colors.
And I haven't seen a greenhouse before me yet, so we'll see.
yeah,
The
thank
night
you.
is young. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Moving on to the next case on page number 3, item number 28, case number CEFAW 2014-00001, Philomene Nicholas, 711 Northwest 122nd Street. Officer is Shanna Sanders.
I'm going to need you to repeat that for me. 28?
Yes,
Got it.
item number 28.
Good evening. Can you please state your name?
My name is Gerda Theodore. This is my mom. I'm going to be speaking for her. I live also at 711 Northwest 122nd Street.
Okay.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a case for a fence in our wall that's in disrepair. I got this complaint called in by my sergeant asking me to investigate, understanding that there was an anonymous complaint at the property. Upon my inspection, I did see that the chain link fence is bent on the east side of the property. I posted the property with a courtesy letter, did not get a response. I went back a month later, February 21st, sent the letter. I did understand they made contact with my supervisor, but I didn't have any personal contact with the property owner or her daughter. I've sent several letters, but no contact has been made as of today. The violation still remains. I do have pictures to show the fence that is in disrepair, if you would like to see.
Yes, please. All right, I'm reviewing photographs that were taken today, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right, does that complete your report?
Yes.
All right, ma'am?
Okay, the fence that they're speaking about is on the property, but as of right now, we know it needs repair, but we cannot do that. We can't repair it at this time. And also the letter that she sent, like she said, I did try to get in contact with the code enforcement, but they sent me in a loop. I even asked to speak to the mayor, let me speak to someone. One person said you need to speak to the police department because code enforcement is underneath the police department. And I work 3 jobs. I'm a teacher by day, tutor in the afternoon, and a cashier at night. My mother has medical issues. I pay all her prescription. I pay the house. I do everything. And to me, for the city of North Miami to make my life pretty much a living hell, to add this to it is unbearable right now. If you guys can give us some guidance somewhere, maybe a grant or someone, because besides the fence, everything else about the house is okay. It's just the fence right now. I can't do it. My mother is retired. She can't work. She's on medical, have a lot of medical issues. I'm the sole caretaker. I can't do it by myself. And I'm glad you stated before that the city of North Miami is made up of residents, and it is made up of residents. Help your residents out. Because if I could have done it, trust me, I would have took my mom out of North Miami if I could do it. But I can't. So if there's some route that you guys can assist us in, I'm gladly take that route. But right now, if I have to decide to pay for prescription drugs or to get a gate fix, I'm going to save my mother's life. I'm not going to get that gate fix until I can. So this is what I bring to City of North Miami today.
Do you want to add anything?
No, I've given my testimony.
All right. I can't tell you, and I understand your situation. You indicated that your mom has medical issues, and you're working hard and helping her out. That's great. If you want me to give you 30 days or 60 days, this needs to be fixed. And
Within 60 days?
Correct. Do you want 30 days or 60 days?
Where I'm going to put the money from? Like 60 days, and then with the report that they gave us, you need to get a permit. So that means I have to pay for a permit. Then I have to pay for someone to come and fix. I would understand if the gate was laying on the floor and cars couldn't pass by, then that's one thing. It's not laying on the floor. It's not obstructing traffic because we live next to a building and cars go through there like speeding bullets all the time. If that was an issue, then someone would have been reported, oh, there's a fence on the floor. It's just a couple of links that's missing off of it because during the last storm a couple years back, the tree fell on it and we got the tree removed because it was all over the place. It broke the chain link in pretty much in half. But besides that, trust me, if we could have done it, I'm not going to even say we. If I could have done it, I would have done it. To give me 60 days is really you putting me in handcuffs, telling me, I'm not going to lie to you. In 60 days, where I'm going to pull the money from. I've been working as an educator. We haven't had a raise in like going on 7-8 years. Where do you want me to pull the money from? And those are like thousands of dollars. It's not even, if it was $100, $200, I would understand. I'll do my best. But we've called before, it's like $1,000 to get the gate done plus the permit. Like, where I'm going to pull the money from, I just don't understand that. That's why I asked the city if you guys have an avenue that maybe you can direct me to that can help assist me, I'm willing to take it. But to give me 60 days and say you need to get this fixed is unrealistic. It really is, because I don't know where I'm going to get that money from. I really don't know.
Does the city have a program that can assist the homeowners?
That's what I was going to say. I don't know what their funds are looking like at this time, but I can point her in the direction of community planning and development to see what applications they are taking in, and again, what their funds are looking like. But that would be their department. In addition to that, I do recall on the letter I stated if the entire fence is replaced, a permit will be required. But if it's just a small repair, which it seems like it could be, she can just do that without the permits. I'm only saying that because she said something that could be under $200. I'm not in the business of repairing fences, so I don't know what the cost will be. But if it's just a repair, she can do those without a permit.
Do they have an options of removing the fence altogether?
Yes, she does, especially because if I'm looking and remember the picture correctly, there's a wood fence that's aligned with it.
Right.
So the chain link fence can be removed, and that will put her into full compliance.
Great.
To remove the entire chain link, because it goes
You have
across.
a choice.
No, I'm asking because the chain link goes all the way across.
No, it could just be the side that's along the alleyway where the wood fence is, that's in disrepair.
That's what I'm saying, but it goes from the front of our house all the way to the back, like.
No, I'm not talking about the
house.
front. The front is fine. I'm speaking of the side that's on the east side of the property along the alley.
That's exactly
just
what I'm
on the
speaking.
side.
So to remove that entire fence, that's what you're saying. That's on the east side.
Yes.
The entire fence.
Yes, because there's a wood fence there that's along that part. So, yes, that could be removed without permits or, again, you can do the repairs, again, if it's just a repair without permits. And if not, I'll point her in the direction of community planning and development to see what funds they have and what assistance they can give her.
All right. Basically, I see you have 3 options, is what she's indicating. Maybe 2.
I'm sorry?
2 options I think you've named.
Well, I stated removing the fence.
Correct.
I stated repairing the fence.
Repairing the area that's broken.
Yes,
that's
or pointing her into community planning, community planning in CP&D's direction to see what type of funds they have.
Correct. So I'm going to give you 30 days. I'm going to table this case for 30 days, and I'm going to remember this case. You have 3 options. She will refer you to, is it community planning?
Yes, community planning and development.
Okay. She's going to refer you to community planning and development. You need to contact them ASAP, depending on what they tell you. The other 2 options is either you go forward and fix the portion that's broken or what is it, that's bent, or you can remove that section altogether.
Okay, but that section we can't just remove piece of it. It's like a chain link fence. So the removing portion is unrealistic. You won't be able to remove portion. You have to either take out
whatever
the entire
it is
thing.
that you need to do, because you told me that you cannot afford to pull
That's
a
exactly
permit
what I
and
said.
do. So these are your 3 options, and when you come back on the 7th, I'll hear which one you chose. But these are your 3 options.
Okay.
Good night. Thank you.
Moving on to the next case on page number 4, item number 38, case number CEXP 2013-00177, Timothy Gerald Lazarus, 12030 Northwest 8th Avenue. Code officer is Shanna Sanders.
And I'm extremely slow today. Tell me the page we're in.
Page number 4, item number 38. Page
38.
4,
Okay.
item.
I think you start calling as I'm writing, so it's.
I'm sorry, I'll wait for you.
That's all right. Good afternoon. Good evening, sir. What is your name?
Good evening. My name is Timothy Lazarus. I reside at 12030 Northwest 8th Avenue.
All right, sir.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. This is a case for report of previous compliance for the exterior walls. Just to give you a refresher, this is the house with the black siding that's, I guess in short to say, is placed over the entire surroundings of the house. The gentleman did obtain a building permit as of the 3rd of March, but I have not seen any activity going on or any work, so I'll let the property owner explain to you what's going on with the property. I do have updated photos that I took this morning, roughly, I'm showing here 11:30, but again, I'll let the property owner explain what's going on.
I've tabled this case a few times, so I'm waiting to hear what great news you're going to share with us tonight, Mr. Lazarus.
Okay. Actually, on the photos, you can see there are some differences in there. I've been putting the mud stop and stuff around the house. I had to fix a few things there. I was sick 1 week, excuse, but I have been working on it.
Okay.
It's just taking more than, last time I said it should took under a month, but it's taking a little bit longer, so I'm going to have to bite my tongue on that one.
I'll let you see the pictures since he's saying there's updated pictures that he's been doing. I'll show him and then show you so you can see.
Okay.
Yep, under here. Where's your old ones at?
So you're working on this yourself?
Yeah. Can you see like the old ones here? Got the no under here. The door was different. I had changed around here. The windows, I put the stucco stop. The eave up here, I put the molding around it and the vents and stuff like that. And I was doing some stuff on the back. I see you didn't get it, but the doors and stuff like that. But I have been working on it. It's just the evening hours, weekend hours.
What he's showing me, as I'm going to explain to you as you're looking, he's saying the area around the front porch area and around the door has been, it looks like maybe there could be some new wood over the awning part or something. So.
All right. I must be blind because I can't see what you're
I didn't see it
showing
until
me
he
here.
pointed it out. It's a small area above the roof. I guess the porch overhang, I guess is what we would call it. And then a little bit on the sides of the door.
Oh, I see. Okay. I guess.
But I don't see anything like around the siding that's been done. But I guess the porch area he pointed out.
Okay. That's all you've done in the whole month?
No, I mean, I have worked on the back too, but like I said, I've had probably, it's been nights and weekends. I work during the day. It's me, myself. Yeah, it's taken a little longer than I expected, but I am working on it.
Because our major concern is really the paint, the sidings, and I mean, fixing your porch wasn't really the issue.
Yeah, but it's how I'm hanging a wire. There was nothing there to hang the wire on.
So when is this job going to be completed?
You're gonna, I need probably a few more weeks at least. I mean,
This is what I'm going to do. Because I really do think that I need to put fire under your feet, Mr. Lazarus.
my fire is under my feet, but like I said, I'm working
Okay.
nights and weekends on this. It's not like I have every day. I do have a job.
Which is great. Probably mean you probably can afford a contractor.
No, I
a
cannot
licensed
afford a contractor.
to
And
do
I'm
this job and help.
And I'm going to point out to you while you're, making your decision that this is a case that's been going on since September of 2013.
Right.
In addition to that, it's actually been going on prior to that. The officer before me, I believe, 3 years ago, Vanessa Willis, had a violation that was open and then closed 3 years ago for the exact same thing.
Right. We've never had a case where it's going on a year and has not been adjudicated by the special magistrate. So I'm going to do that at this time. I do find that the violation still exists. I find in favor of the city. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 per day with an abatement date of May 6, 2014. What all this means, sir, is that if you said it's going to take you a couple of weeks to get it done, get it done. Because as of May 6, 2014, you're going to start accumulating $25 per day, and I don't want that to happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'll see you back here. I hope not to see you.
I hope not either.
But if anything, we'll see you on May 7th. Yes.
If I can, I'm sorry, I was trying to point out to our attorney, if I'm looking at our notations correct, this property, it was never adjudicated. We were already assessing a fine. We continued to table it time after time because he was stating that he was getting the work done, so we would need to first adjudicate it.
I already rule in your favor.
Oh, no, I'm saying I thought we gave him a fine. Did we give an adjudication? Oh, okay. May 6th? Okay, I'm sorry. And what was the fine going to be after the 6th?
$5 a day.
5? Oh. Wow. Okay, thank you. Maybe I was somewhere else. I heard fine.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Okay, moving on to the next case, item number 44.
Thank you, Mr. Kirsten.
Case number CESOD 2014-00003, Yves Point du Jour and wife Marie, 1540 Northeast 143rd Street. Officer is Wayne Clark.
Good evening, ma'am. Please state your names and address, please.
Yes, my name is Caitlin Duane.
Okay.
My address is 1540 Northeast 143rd Street,
Okay.
Miami, Florida 22161.
And what is your name?
She's my Caitlin.
Her name is Caitlin.
Caitlin Duane.
What is your name?
My name?
Yes.
Caitlin Duane.
Okay. What is her name?
Oh, Mary Justin Patricia. She's the owner.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wayne
Good evening, Mr. Clark.
Good evening. Wayne Clark, City, North Miami Code Compliance of the North Miami Police Department. This is case in reference to the front yard of the property in pretty unsightly conditions, being that there is no grass in the entire front yard. I sent the letter out some time ago, giving them ample time on, I believe the letter was sent out on February 24th. And today I went by and got in contact. There was a few people standing out front, sitting out front. I think it might have been her granddaughter that I talked to and made her aware that there was a court hearing tonight, and she didn't know that. And I explained to her what had to be done to abate the violation. And this is the first time I've seen I believe the homeowner. And I had no response from the time of the letter to date. And I do like to submit the photo for the record. First, showing the owners the front yard, and also the property is homesteaded.
Give me 1 second, Mr. Clark. I'm sorry. Ma'am, do you understand English?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm understand.
Let me ask your mom. Do you understand English?
No, she don't.
Okay, because I
she
do.
She can understand some, but
No,
not
we
all.
have a translator here. She needs to understand the proceedings, what's
okay.
going on, because you didn't translate to her not one word while he was talking. So she has no clue what the officer has just said.
I don't know if I have to translate. for her.
She's
I
the
just-
owner. She has to understand the
Yeah, okay.
proceedings. I'm sorry, sir. You need to speak into the microphone, please.
Yo di parce que gazon devant la kawa ou pas fait. Donc il te voyait deux lettres ba ou pas jamais répondre dans lettre là c'est pour première fois il vinn là. Il était allé matin, il fait photo.
Are you
il
going to
fait
speak too
il
or
fait
no?
photo et puis il fait regarder, il voit que là pas fait.
Hold on, I think. Is everything okay? Okay.
It's only now, it's only today that I found out that the grass needed to be done. My grandkids told me.
Okay.
Okay, the letter was sent. Where's their mailing address? Is wait, look on the Miami Dade. The mailing address is the same as the home.
Yes, there was a letter. My husband read it, and he said, "Did you?"
For you by tree to clean it.
They said they have to do something to the tree so they can clean it. And I had somebody clean it. The reason why I don't do the grass yet because I don't have the money.
Was there a letter about a tree cutting?
No, there was no letter about a tree cutting. I think what she's trying to say is her husband probably trimmed they have I think 2 oak trees in the front.
There are 2 trees.
Okay, and what happened was I believe. Hold on. What happened was I believe that they trimmed the trees.
Yes.
You tell them you translate what I'm saying to her.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. I think their point was
we still need you to speak. Even when you translate, as you translate to her, make sure that the microphone is picking up the translation.
I don't know what their aim was in trimming by trimming the trees, but what I'm thinking is they were trimming the trees first so that they can plant the grass. I guess to give it a little sunlight. I don't know. I mean, we need to ask them what was their purpose of trimming the trees if they were told to plant grass. Oh.
Okay.
I know that. I heard you told me to do the grass, but also I have to trim the trees first.
All right. Do you have photographs of the grass that you
Again,
can
I'd like to
share
submit the photo for the record first, showing the homeowner.
Photo pour montrer. Il va montrer photo d'abord. Mes photos devant la caméra. Tu dis même? Yes.
Beautiful tree,
Yon bel pi bois.
but absolutely no grass.
Men pa gen gazon.
Non, mais.
Okay, this photograph was taken on March 31st,
Li foto fa li fete
2014.
31 mars 2014.
Okay, ma'am, do you understand
est-ce que vous comprenez?
the violation?
Vous comprenez violation, madame? Yes.
Do you understand what it is that you
Est-ce
need
que-
to do?
Est-ce que vous comprenez ça ou gen pou fè?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mais tant pour faire gazon.
I need more time to do the grass because
Ouais, les pieds bois tuent gazon.
the tree also kill the grass.
Oh, see, so now that explains probably, like I was saying, why she probably trimmed the trees out.
Ça explique raison que fait que ou retirer ou pi bois ou nettoyer pi bois. Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so how much time do you
Combien
think
de
you
temps?
need, ma'am?
Combien de temps vous avez besoin, madame?
Novembre 2 mois.
About 2 months.
Okay. All right, based on the evidence presented, I find in favor of the city. I will adjudicate in favor of the city. I hereby impose a daily fine amount of $25 per day with an abatement date of June 3rd, 2014.
Et que moi, je viens de citer à d'accord, puis on finit qu'on y a en 2014.